Yeah, I'm back. We about to get into it. But first, let me put out a little disclaimer for the lurkers. You know those people who claim to know you but don't want to claim any attachments to you. This one for y'all. Right after that is most praise to the Most High God, who I know to be Jesus Christ, who also has many names, as much as the earth has many languages. This has nothing to do with me turning 41 tomorrow. As a matter of fact, that's going to be the last time I mention it. It's getting hard for people to face the truth just as much as it was hard for them to face the Bible. You can tell because in the Bible, it was getting hard for them to face God as it was getting hard for them to face the truth of who God was. I'm not going to keep cussing just to make you people feel comfortable with my ignorance. Like you, even when I'm speaking on His word, it's going to come out the way I feel like it. Except all of His word verbatim. That's what I can promise you. My testimony being viewed by the lens of His word is what I can promise you. Now, a lot of people think that my idea is to become a famous rapper or try to be some online influencer or something like that. But my real goal is full transparency. Like my handler name is my government name. Shouldn't even mention it online, I know. Whatever bad videos or whatever that ties to or bad news or whatever, I'm ready for all of that smoke. Or I'm not. And I'm going to keep going. You know what that's called? Faith. That's what that's called, in case you didn't know. This morning I attended a Bible study class and the topic that came up was suffering. I'm thinking about it now. As a person who wants to do anything oral, with a lot of oral things going on with his mouth, that kind of cancels him from doing anything mediocre to average with his mouth. That would rather pursue telling the Bible and musical inspiration vocally to attract people. Oh, that's a whole suffering process. Clearly, no one is going to hear you the way you want to be heard, simply because of how it's presented. But that's why I noticed that there's a big differentiation between sound and sight. In other words, we've seen clearly what it looks like when we listen to things that it look like we want to listen to. Hell, I just looked at something I used to listen to. Just now, I was reminded why I listened to it. It was because it was attracting to the eye. I'm starting to think now as I lean in on what was attracting to the eye. I found out all of the information that came from other people who leaned in that were attracted by their eye. Yet, I didn't find a person that could apply the same wisdom of all of the knowledge acquired. That's because the information was too much. It was too much information taken for too many people, taken for too many people, from too many people, for one outlet to be able to help anybody, let alone themselves, with that information alone. Yet, if you was to teach all of that information to everybody that you initially made enemies out of each other, simply because they came in contact with you, well then you'd have something. To break that down, each one can't teach one when each one can't reach one. And if each one can't reach one because of you having all of the information does nothing. There you have it. You can stop asking yourself why so many men are walking around slow and sleep. I'll say it again. So many men are walking around slow and sleep. Now, I ain't say which tax bracket you was from, nigga. You know you do slow shit too. You just too scared to like the videos to talk about it. Especially if you know that person. Most of your opinions are being kidnapped by invisible social media mob mentality, all of which serves no one but whoever's at the top of a very visible pyramid. I happen to know talent isn't what people are seeking anymore. That's just something that ends up in video shorts that people get pennies for. It's wisdom. Wisdom is what people are seeking. And funny, I thought most of us knew where the greatest place for that was. I thought my parents did. I thought my siblings did. I thought the rest of my family would. But what is that when you're held within a construct that keeps you far away from seeing if your family even believes in the same God that you serve? On a day-to-day basis, you're supposed to hope that all of these walls that split your families still facilitate the same faith given to the same God who bestows the same grace that protects us all. When we know what's separated in these houses is complete different chaos. We know what comes out of them is lies about what happened in them. We know how the Band-Aid stayed on top of those wounds. What happened in this house stay in this house. We know how them Band-Aids stayed on top of them wounds. We know how the abused nightmares turned into how the dreams are made of these. You want us to go back to unknowing that shit, don't you? Let's get real. Ready? You want us to go back to that guy that you left right before you found out the other guy was going to tear the lining out of you, destroy all hopes and the images of what you believed a man once was, and then leave you high and dry like the rest of the women he fucked, who's strolling around like heartless bitches just like you. So the club of those women don't feel so small, do it? It doesn't, does it? Since there's a bigger club, it makes more sense to join it, doesn't it? You can't front it's what you did. You can't act like that's not what you did when it is what you did. I can't act like it isn't what I did. Fine, since people ain't gonna man a woman up, I'll do it first. I did it. I'm one of those people that wish I can lie right now and tell you that I was a virgin and make you believe it. Even though in society today, that ain't gonna give you no brownie points towards being a man. That's what I actually wish. That way everybody who's making up stories about me and running the opposite direction and telling complete fabricated stories about my character and everything else, so people will differentiate how they feel about me, those things wouldn't even exist. And they treat me like a new sucker that has no intelligence of dealing with them and mastering their bullshit, and like I'm a fresh mark or some shit like that. They treat me like a fresh spring chicken if I acted as if I was brand new. Is that why they all try to talk to you like a telemarketer? Huh? Let's talk about it. Every time I've ever watched my mom or my sister put on that telemarketer voice whenever they answer the phone in the hopes of achieving some type of monetary job or acquisition or something like that, my goddamn skin crawled. I'm sorry. God bless it, skin crawled. That's because with all of the confidence that they naturally had that I didn't, I never knew why they needed to switch their voice up on the phone just to gain some favor over whoever else was on the other side. And you know what? The more that I read the word, the more that I don't see the need to do that shit now. No, we just need to keep the important topics important. And the bullshit ones, bullshit. But in order to do that, you got to keep the bullshit leaders out of leader positions. Otherwise, they will lead you to bullshit. Think about the story of King Arthur and the sword. Think of how they got used to motherfuckers just thinking that sword was stuck in the stone and it was just gonna be there forever because no one could pull it up. No one. Man, they probably made a tourist attraction out of that shit. Had people paying just to come over there and everything else. Other people kidnapped and all of that, trying to figure out who it could fit or whatnot so they can kill them or whatever else. They probably had so many events behind that one lie, if it was even a factual story at all. I could see them hosting a whole bunch of betting events on the side and having vendors and shit out there and all types of delicacies that you can eat in that country or whatever. Just watching a whole bunch of people try to fit in someone else's shoes. Yeah, I'm picking, because as I look at social media every day, it looks familiar. Hell, as I look at real life every day, it looks so familiar. Some side information I wanted to add to. Yeah, my phone got stolen a few weeks back. It's completely fine. I have two more. It makes no difference. But a lot of the content that I wrote down as far as like songs or ideas or concepts that I actually wanted to get into, obviously I don't have anymore. It's all up here. Honestly, I can't even bullshit you. I was kind of just smoking and going through my own motions entirely too much to even care about the very few people on the other side of this camera or whatever that even see these damn videos. I can admit that. I can admit to being under that depression where you feel like the very things you say you're passionate about and you want to do, since you don't receive any reciprocation for what it is you do, you don't really feel so inspired to keep going. But you got to understand that's how it always was. Well, even when you understand that, you'll still get in your feelings about other things and completely lose focus. But you won't get in your feelings about what you love. You'll just go through your emotions about it. I don't know if music really is going to be the problem or the solution of the problems I see every day. I think comedy is more of a solution to the problems I see every day than anything else is. Because, hey, at least you're laughing. Like, for example, motherfuckers was running away from ICE for months and then bust their ass on it for a week and some changing, you know. Still nothing feels different. That's because with other motherfuckers after us, we still after us. Ay, ay, ay. Lastly, what I want to say, out of everything, is I realize how hard it's going to be for a rich person to enter into heaven like it is going to be for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle. That's because the more that people have, the harder it is for them to listen to anyone else tell them that it's more that they need. Because the more that they hear that on the physical outside of themselves, that is more that they need than what they already physically have more than the person that's telling them. Before it gets to more that you need on the inside of yourself, you're going to get some type of reaction. It's because that flesh has become too thick, too dense. I mean, if you believe in Jesus Christ and you believe that there was 12 people that followed him all the time that almost never knew what he was talking about. That's why he had to A, teach them, and B, their eyes had to be open and their understanding had to be given to them. So that more that you may need than what you have may be understanding. But when your ego tells you that someone with physically less than you can't tell you that it's more that you need, oh, the flesh ain't gonna understand that. I don't think you understand how much the flesh don't understand. Let me finalize all of it and help you out real quick. Matthew chapter 27, verse 46. This verse highlights when Jesus said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? This can only be his flesh crying out. Innocent flesh at that is crying out and asking God, why is he forsaking it? You have to remember that this is the innocent being declared guilty on all of our behalf. Therefore, when it's time for you to do some actual suffering, and you can't run from it, and you ain't got no excuses to make for it, and you can't get no cash app to get you out of it, and you can't find nobody to give you no money so it can hold you over until you can find a way to fully avoid it. When underneath all of that, you really ain't telling nobody that you caused all of these problems and stuff for yourself. Or you've been borrowing money from one person to pay somebody else, and you just met somebody new to throw them into the entire loop. When you realize you're doing all of this running around to just avoid the suffering that you should be going through to mold you into what you should become. When God starts forsaking you, don't you play innocent. You know Jesus Christ.